Hey, good evening, everyone. It's Sunday, 8 p.m. here in the Indian time zone. Like I said, I'm in India because I'm here on a wedding reception. My wife and I got married earlier in the year, and I have family in India. So I figured I'd take a vacation, introduce the extended part of my family here in India. So I'm trading out of India right now. For the last couple days, I've kind of been just waiting to watch the market to see what it's going to do. Been fairly inactive, but what I've really been watching is this big trading range that I'd outlined a couple days ago, right? And if you watch my analysis for the last maybe, I don't know, 10, 15 days, right? I've well, actually, no, let's just say, where is this? November 22nd, today's the 1st, so about the last 9 or 10 days, right? So I stated that after we started seeing this drop right here, this was the first initial bounce, and then this really, to me, was a stop run. So I state that this is really the bottom of the trading range, right? This right here is a deviation, just like this right here is also a deviation, okay? So the real trading range is between this first bounce right here and then this first top that was created, okay? I don't count this top right here, or I'm sorry, this bottom right here. So what we're really looking at is a trading range of $7,400 down to about 6,900 bucks. And notice that the price actually moved in this area very nicely for a majority of the time, you know, right here, right here, right here, came back to test the bottom of the trading range and then pushed back up. The fact that price has come back into this area twice, you know, 3 times right here, gotten rejected right here, rejected right here, and then, you know, found support right here before this big push, gives me validation that this right here, this block right here, is by far a more proper trading range for the bottom of the uh, trading range from this top to this bottom, right? This right here doesn't really make sense because if we start drawing a trading range like this, as this being the bottom right there, right, you could see that it doesn't quite match up. I mean, there's not that many points that hit this area as it does right here. So anyway, that gives us an idea that this is the bottom of the trading range and this is the top because we've hit, you know, this once, I mean, a couple times right here, 3 times, 4 times, rejection, comes back, tests it as support, and then takes off. And then over here where we are today, notice that this big movement above the trading range that has happened has brought us back, basically back in the trading range, right? And so over here, this is where crypto Twitter again started becoming bullish and saying that, hey, this is the last time you're going to start seeing Bitcoin under 7,000. This right here, you know, was the last time BTC will be under 6,000 for the rest of 2019. I swear these people have goldfish memory because, you know, every now and then they keep moving the goalpost, right? So what you really want to do, folks, is find people who are going to give you an objective view of the market, okay? Even if it's not me, if you think I'm too biased, if you think I'm not giving you proper analysis, go find someone else, okay? That's totally fine with me, but I want you guys to be, you know, vigilant in this market and understanding that, you know, these people who keep spewing these ultra bullish outlooks on the market are almost always getting destroyed, and they're feeding you this nonsense about prices have to go up, and you know, this halving is coming up, and this, you know, has to do this and it has to do that. Well, I'm a technicals trader, as you guys very well know. I've been trading almost all financial markets. I started off with the equities markets and then commodities and forex and crypto. I started off in 2007, so now it's been almost 12 years. Okay, and I've traded every single market with more heavy usage of technicals and then more reliability on fundamentals, especially in the stock market and the forex markets. But in crypto, there's really no fundamentals in my opinion, right? I mean, other than mining costs and maybe, you know, some I guess news that pops up here and there of hacks or governments banning or allowing blockchain or this or that. There's really not a whole lot of fundamentals. You know, there's no earnings reports, there's no CEO, there's no management. So technicals really make sense when you are trading in this market. And so when you look at the pure technicals, whether it's the 30-minute chart, you know, whether it's the 4-hour chart right here, you could see overwhelmingly we have been in a downtrend, especially from this 25th November high right here, which is first, you know, top that was created. This is a lower high right here, another lower high, lower high, and then another lower high. And that kind of gives us this trend line, as you can see, right? Look at how closely price follows, hugs the trend line, boom, shoots away from it, and then comes back to retest that trend line. How can you be bullish when all price did right here was create this inverse head and shoulders, break out, and then fall back inside the neckline, right? So this is where you got to start being a bit more skeptical about these ultra bulls, because they just want to sell you hopium about the fact that prices are going to go heavier. Or I'm sorry, the prices are going to go higher because they're stuck in heavier long positions, or they're stuck in big spot buy positions, right? Because our bias is ultimately coming from the fact that they themselves have a particular interest in price going in a certain direction. So they're not really traders. What they really are people who are, in honesty, holding bags, right? And they're hoping price goes back up. But in our community, as you can see, we short the market, we long the market. We don't care which way the market goes. Just give us good technicals, give us a good risk-reward ratio, and we'll trade in any direction, any asset, okay? And for now, our go-to asset has really been BTC, because a lot of the money has been made in Bitcoin, especially, on exchanges like Bybit and BitMEX. And I heavily trade on Bybit because I find it more reliable. And most of the money can be made in this market if you just start looking at the bigger time frames, right? So for example, if we start looking at the 4-hour time frame, this trend line was so easy to spot. I even mentioned this to my community before I walked away from the screen a couple days ago, before my wedding event started. I said, keep an eye on this trend line. Notice right here, we got rejected exactly right at this trend line right here. So this tells me that this trend line right here is still holding price, very firmly inside it. So we are still overwhelmingly in a deeper bearish trend, all right? More importantly, if you start looking at the 1-day chart, all we've really done is, like I said, this was really the trading range. This to me right here was a big sort of distribution channel, comes back into the range, pulls outside, gets rejected, and then falls back under the trading range, right? So this right here could be, you could make the argument, is a deviation, and we could fall back to the top of the channel. But if we don't, right, let's just say we go up here and then we start turning back around, back under this trading range, and this daily trading range is between $9,300 and about $7,400. So if we start falling back under the trading range, at some point, this thing is probably just going to slice through, okay? Because we've kind of hit this already once, twice, 3 times, right? 4 times, almost 5, and 6 right there. So multiple times we've kind of hit this bottom of this parallel channel, and the top is obviously visible right here. So I would not be surprised if we start breaking this thing down sooner than later. Because remember, around middle of December was when the bottom was put into BTC last year, as you can see right there, right? So the bottom was put in middle of December right there, around $3,100. I'm not saying that that has to happen this year again, but the structurally, right, you could make the argument that we are maybe right here, which is where we are right here, right? And then after that, here comes the next wave of sell-offs, okay? So that would be something, interesting to kind of keep an eye on, all right? And then especially when we start looking at the 4-hour chart like this, actually, like this, remember that this was really the base that was built around $7,400, $7,500 before we had that $3,000 spike up. And we retraced that entire thing in less than, a month. And now you could see we're now hitting that purple block again. And we're testing that as, we tested it as resistance right there, use it as support, and then boom, broke back down under it as resistance. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get rejected in this area and then fall straight through again, okay? And the markers you should probably be looking for if you are looking to go short is probably a stop up here around $7,600. Target probably the mid-range of this, so around 7,150 or so, and then the bottom range around 6,900, and then the low that was put in around, let's just say $6,600, okay, if you're short. If you're long, you better pray that if we kind of bounce from here, price does not fall back under the trading range. Okay, what price should be doing is, it broke through, comes back up, creates a higher low, and then should be taking off. So your first point to watch if you're trying to long is watch if price breaks this area right here, $7,600. If it starts going like this, and it starts going up here, then it's going to probably take off at least to $7,700, $7,800. Okay, so yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I don't know if I have anything else to cover. In the next 12 hours or so, we do have the weekly candle closing and actually the monthly. Okay, so it's already December 1st here, but I think in the US time zones that's going to be closing soon. So keep an eye out on that, and I'll try to make a video 10-12 hours later to give you guys an outlook of how the weekly looks. All right, that's it. Take care. Cheers. Come join Cryptosomniac, folks, if you want these kinds of gains, or if you just want a good community where you can, kind of bounce ideas back and forth, and you can understand how to trade, how to understand to read technicals. Okay, we have an awesome analyst who's been holding it down for the last couple of days, Jordan, and myself, obviously, who you've seen in many of these videos that I make essentially every single day. And even on vacation, I've been working, keeping my community informed. So we have a lot of dedication and hard work going into this community, all right? So come join Cryptosomniac, and I'll talk to y'all soon. All right, cheers.